Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be covering the shoulder push or badge grab. So if you're an adult and maybe you're in law enforcement or something like that, people tend to reach out and grab your badge. If you're a child or a teen, you have people that come up and they try to give you the intimidation move here. So Mr. Micah is going to be the intimidator here. You're now the intimidator. That's your nickname, okay? So he's going to help me out here. What he's going to do is he's going to reach out and he's going to push on my shoulder or grab toward my shoulder. Now, as he does this, I want to think about stepping back on that side. You see how that already, he's not even pushing very hard, and it made him kind of hyperextend himself a little bit and push a little further than he intended to. That's good for me and bad for him. Now, I don't want to continue a backwards motion because as long as I'm moving backwards, he's going to move forwards. And I promise he can move forwards way faster than I can move backwards. That's how the human body was created, okay? So what I want to do instead is I want to use kind of that wave motion where I come back and then I'm moving back into him to counter his movement. So here's how we're going to do that. Anytime somebody's coming up to you with kind of a threatening air, you want to make sure that your hands are up in a defensive posture. They don't have to be up like a fighting stance. In fact, that's not generally a great idea from a self-defense perspective. Instead, I want to have my hands up here. This looks very defensive, very apologetic. Okay, this is a great position to be in. So this is where I want to be. Now, as he goes to push, I'm going to use my hands to turn. Now, it's very easy for me to now put my hands in between his arm and me. What I'm looking for here is to get this hand on his wrist, so wrist-to-wrist contact here, and this hand kind of around his bicep. The super basic version of this is that I go from here, and then I just turn and back fist or hammer fist into the jaw here, okay? But we want to add a little bit of insult to injury here, okay? So as he comes to push me, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make the claw, okay? And as he comes in, I'm hitting here, and I'm going to rake the inside of the bicep. Now, if you didn't know, there's a lovely little nerve that runs just underneath your bicep, right along the bone here in your upper arm. So what you're trying to do here is as they come in, you're trying to rake that. Now, you notice that I got this little catch here. This is a neat thing. We can do cool stuff with this eventually, but just get used to making this catch here, okay? So as he comes in, turn, rake, catch. Now from here, I'm going to let my body fold back out and into him. Watch the footwork here. If I just stay here, I don't get a ton of power. If I add a little bit of a step back in, then that gives me way more power. Now you notice he's stretched out because I've got this hand here. I'm extending this way and this way at the same time. This is very uncomfortable. Now let's talk about the strike here. The way we teach it is with a back fist strike, but there are a myriad of different strikes that you could use in this position. So Micah comes in to grab me, and maybe I'm really close. I could use an elbow strike here. Okay, your backward or reverse elbow here. I could use a hammer fist. I could use a knife hand right here to the carotid artery. I could even come in with a hammer fist down and hit his collarbone here. There's a lot of different things that I could do. If you're really, really close, go ahead and hit me with the other side here. If you're really, really close, you may even catch them with this elbow on the way through to come back for your strike. So be aware that there's a lot here and don't feel limited by the fact that we teach it with a back fist strike. That's just to give you something to work with. All right, Michael, let's do it at about 80% speed here. All right, so it's really pretty quick. In order for it to be that quick, you have to be paying attention to your opponent. If you're looking around and not paying attention to them, this doesn't work very well. Oh gosh, now I'm off balance, okay? So you have to be really focused. Hey man, I'm so sorry. What did I do to make you upset? Now you're really upset, and now I have a broken jaw, right? All right, guys. So one way to practice this well is just to get somebody in your family to kind of take a broom handle or something and just kind of poke you in the shoulder and poke you in the shoulder and poke you in the shoulder and just kind of work on moving and moving. We're just kind of changing angles. See, my footwork is just kind of like a step ball change here. If you've ever done any dance or seen anybody do dance, this is a pretty normal thing. So it's just moving your feet together and apart. If you've done your angle steps in class, this should be very familiar to you, okay? Keeping those hands up, not letting them drop down here in front of your belly, but up here in front of your chest. Move, 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 move. Almost like you're rowing you're paddling a canoe down the river. All right, guys. Hope that was helpful for you. Make sure that you practice this slow at first, especially when you're doing that back fist. Work on your control there, and then you can speed up gradually. Keep training, guys. Keep growing. We'll see you in the next video.